Hello there, how the devil are you? My name's Leonard Sultana, and this is Talking Con, a cup of tea with an Englishman in San Diego, where we talk comics, Comic Cons, and all the stuff and nonsense we get to enjoy at such shows, which is what I would usually put at the top of each episode, except this week. And as you could probably, if you are a regular viewer to the show, you'll know that when you have an episode which says an update, you know that it's going to be a bit of a short one. Yes, Dan Berry is also straight away. The man knows it, the man that he knows his clues. Dan Berry, what's up? Yes, well, as it happens, there's one or two things. Hello from London. Andrew English is watching. We've got one or two people who've joined us already. Hello there, everybody. If you are watching, it means you've got your notifications turned on and you know that we're actually live on the various social medias and the channels out there. So thank you very much indeed for joining us today. So let's just make a holy 5 o'clock shadow Batman. Well, that's kind of what I'm going to talk about. Yes, there is no episode today. No interview, unfortunately. We've got nothing kind of lined up, mostly because I have been slightly busy this week. As you may notice from behind me, it's not as, is it live or is it Memorex? It is live. I was going to say, I was going to do an episode today, but what I was going to do was an episode basically to just kind of like take us back to normal. Because last week we did an episode with Paul Cornell and Rachel Smith, which, I mean, I enjoyed the chat when we got the chance to actually make it work. But as it happens, lots of technical issues left, right, and center. I put the shout out if anybody had any knowledge about how to make a stronger Wi-Fi connection, but that is failed miserably. I mean, what I have done to get this particular signal up and running is reset my internet, and again, I'm using the Deco boxes from TP Link. That's what I'm using to get my internet around the building. So it was going to be a kind of like, if not a State of the Union, but it was just going to be a bit of a chat to camera, no interviews, no second guessing, nobody coming in. I mean, we've got Dan Berry who's turning around and saying that I could have set you up with a C2E2 live stream from the show. I didn't even know he had gone to C2E2 this time round. So, Dan, if you're there, I hope you have a great time. I'm not going to do a live stream today. I'm just going to kind of take it a little bit steady. But there's a reason why, like I say, the main reason was a case of I wanted to take it back to basics a little bit and just have a piece to camera. I mean, we can talk about, as Michael P requested last week, he requested if we do talk something about the hotel sale. As it happens, I have been completely distracted this week because, and this is not exactly the news, but it's the thing that I'm going to reason why I have been a little bit distracted this week. On Tuesday, this Tuesday coming, on the 30th, it's my wife's birthday. She's 40, and yes, she's gone all out to celebrate her birthday. She has been particularly unwell this week. Not necessarily a case of after effects of a very heavy weekend last weekend when she went down to Cardiff to see her family, but she went and had a good time, and then on her way back she kind of got completely stuffed up. She has been completely ill. However, she is now recovered to the point where we are now kind of running around the house, and very, very, very last minute we are preparing for our breakaway. This is something that we've been planning for a little while, and it was going to be something that wasn't going to interrupt too much with the live streams. I mean, it was going to interrupt my work because I'm going to be going away for a couple of days. But basically, myself and Caroline, for her birthday, which she has requested, we're going to Disneyland Paris. It's literally for 4 days. We are flying tomorrow. We are there on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we are back on Thursday. I'm going to be attending a work thing in London, but then back again next week. So yeah, it's a case of we're just taking a couple of days away to celebrate Caroline's birthday. Dan Berry saying happy birthday, Kaz. Thank you for the kind words there. Yeah, it's let's have a look at this. So let's just make let's face facts. We'll be here if you put a GoPro on your cat and all we get is your audio. In fact, that might go viral. you know what? If I put a camera on my cat, I'm certain that I would get the best viewing figures of the entire channel. I would not be at all surprised that Buzz would be the big draw, because he's damn sight more appealing than looking at me. But there we go. I mean, we can talk about the hotel sale from your experiences. If you took part in the hotel sale, please let me know. Jump in. As Dan Berry is saying, fill out the SDCC press form. The spare time that I have had this week, not running around looking after my dad, getting everything sorted out for this week or the week coming up, I have been kind of sorting out the panel applications for San Diego Comic-Con this year. The deadline for that is tomorrow. So it's a case of I had to make sure that I had everything lined up. And then today it's been a case of packing, getting final things organized, getting parking at Manchester Airport all sorted out. But yeah, it's been planning for the trip today. So that's why it's been a little bit distracted. But no, Dan, I will do that before I go to bed tonight. Heaven knows it won't take too long, because yes, if I don't get myself panels at San Diego Comic-Con, I have been approved for press. Now it's 2 passes that we've been allocated for the Convention Collective, and that is going to be myself and Dan Berry. So we will be attending, and we will be running around and talking to as many people as we possibly can. We will be attending as press. I know that some people can kind of fob it a little bit when it comes to their press pass. I try not to. At the end of the day, I see it as a privilege that we are allocated those passes, and I do my best to cover every corner as best I can at San Diego Comic-Con. So that is the plan. Indeed, Michael's saying, yay, excellent stuff. He's saying he was lucky on the hotel sale. Congratulations. I know that there are a fair amount of people that weren't. It did get a little bit touch and go, and certainly with the allocations that they were given, a lot of people, as always, complaining about the fact that they were in first, they were prepared, they were ready to go, and they got themselves nothing. It really was just a little bit disappointing for a bunch of people. But I think for myself, and from what I have been checking in when it came to the remnants of the hotel sale, it has been it's the best site that I have spotted when it comes to updates has been Reddit. There is a fantastic Reddit community at the moment. It is r/Comic Con. It's got 50,000 members in there at the moment, and it's got some people who are really looking after the attendees and really kind of doing their best to get as many people with as much advice as they possibly can. Certainly, Miss Margot, Housecat Speaks, who are just the both of them are just absolutely spot on. They really do go all out to help as much as they can. But no, they did put this post up. This was 5 days ago. Obviously, a couple of days after the sale itself. A few tips for after the hotel sale. If you didn't get a room, clear your day on May the 2nd for the open sale. If you're trying to contact On Peak, they're not always picking up the phone. Given all the issues with the hotel sale, their customer service is usually slammed. Give it a few days and try again. If you've got a room and need to make some changes, don't try contacting the hotel directly. They can't help you. On Peak does not push any of the reservations to the hotels until a few weeks before the con. So if you call your hotel now with a special request, they may politely say they're noting it, but nothing may actually happen. If you've got a room and need to change the days, you can do that after logging in your reservation on the On Peak site. If you've got a room and want some honest hotel reviews, the site I trust most is TripAdvisor. And if you want to know how long it will take to the convention center shuttle bus, all the bits and pieces have been really helpful on the Reddit. It's just been fantastic. They've just really gone all out to help as many people as they possibly can. Weird Life of V saying, boyfriend and I both submitted and we both got hotels. Mine was on Harbour Island, so we're taking the downtown one, which is cheaper too. Always a bonus. Excellent stuff. Congratulations on getting yourself a downtown room. As it happens, I did not take part in the hotel sale because I did not have technically a badge, and therefore I couldn't take part in the early reservation, the sale last week. As it happens, though, we are staying with somebody who has already booked a room. So yes, it's the Con Collective. It's Con family all coming together. So we're all kind of diving in on one room. We are going to be downtown, so thankfully that's happened. However, we are looking for rooms on either side of San Diego Comic Con week because, well, we treat it as a whole holiday. So there we go. The other thing as well that has been noted, and heaven knows, like I say, I was just about to say that I may be interested or will maybe looking into Airbnb for the weeks on either side of San Diego Comic Con. However, the actual week itself, the week of the con, that is the core problem because the issues that you can say about Airbnb are many. And heaven knows I've got my own experience of this. I mean, we've got here Miss Margot putting up a post again 5 days ago. Now that the hotel lottery is almost done, start getting a lot of people looking at Airbnb as alternate lodging. If you're planning on using on Airbnb or other house sharing options, please be aware there have been problems in the past. Last year at San Diego Comic Con, we had no idea if we had a room to stay at in San Diego. We were flying on the Tuesday. We did not know if we had a hotel room by Monday. We also didn't know if we were getting any refund back. We didn't know if we were getting any kind of communication with the person who was running it. We suspect that the idea was that they were hoping that we were going to just cancel the Airbnb, at which point they would then keep, I think, something like a third of the reservation. It just turns into a bit of a money grab. And indeed, Miss Margot says it the best here. I'm not saying that Airbnb is bad. Most hosts are fine and gracious people, but the amount of money that can be made during con brings out some of the worst. And you can even say that about the actual official hotel rooms this time round, because for me, the prices have just been absolutely ridiculous for this time. Again, do check out r/Comic Con for some great advice, not just about San Diego, but also about other cons as well. They've been very good with the community when it comes to C2E2, which is taking place this weekend. So no, it's just a great place to get some good advice, some great support. A lot of people who have been going to Comic Con on Reddit are first timers, and they have been people who've. It's just been a really good community. The two communities that I've found that have been really supportive of any kind of issues have been Reddit and Threads. For everywhere else, it's just been a little bit snipey and nasty, especially on Facebook, especially when it came to people who were struggling with hotel rooms, with bookings, with trying to find any kind of answers. And the amount of people who are just going, well, you should know better than this. Come on, you should be a little bit more experienced. That's not what people need to hear. They need a good supportive community. Comic Con has been a great place for people to go and check out for advice, and Threads, the community there. But it has been a little bit scattershot. It hasn't been about San Diego. It's been about all sorts of community comics and community when it comes to artists and creatives. I would like to try and establish a little bit more of a Comic Con community on Threads. I've got a bit of time yet and see if we can work that out, but there we go. Solicitor Smeg is saying, second year missing SDCC due to just not being able to afford a room. Might be time for CCI to think about moving the show. We keep having this conversation, don't we, about San Diego Comic-Con and moving the show to an alternate venue. I just can't see it happening, purely because of that Californian mentality of we came from San Diego. We are going to stay in San Diego. It's kind of like the 8 guys organize something in the back of a garage. Let's do the show right here. You take that attitude with the con, and you can kind of get a thread about how the actual show is organized. It's very loose and hometown. To move to somewhere like Las Vegas, to move to Los Angeles, I feel they would feel that their heart and soul would then be separated, especially now that they are organizing licenses outside of the US. So we're going to be having the Comic-Con cruise. You're going to be having possibly shows in Europe. You're going to be seeing shows possibly in Africa, in Dubai, that kind of thing. At the end of the day, I think they're going to want to keep San Diego as their home base. The further they go afield, I think they're going to want to keep San Diego as the place to stay. So let's just make, he's suggesting San Francisco, I believe. SFO, is that what you mean? San Francisco? There you go. And Dan Berry saying Los Angeles Comic Con of San Diego. You see, it's a little unwieldy on the mouth, isn't it? It's just, it doesn't quite trip off the tongue. But there we go. That's my whole thought on it. You never know, CCI may have other minds. And heaven knows when it came to when CCI were being touted to be moving to other locations, when not necessarily the convention center was pricing them out of the city, but the city itself, the infrastructure when it comes to licenses, street organization, when it came to off-site values, when it came to the hotels, the big core issue. Well, they were looking around, and by all accounts, the amount of fruit baskets and teasers and lots of temptations from other convention centers and other cities were quite high. That was also pre-COVID. The landscape for fandom has changed, which is why, and I say this every year, this is going to be the interesting one. This one most on the most, because as has been discussed in the pop culture realm this week, sorry, it's films are no longer a driving force of people's interest. So people aren't going to cinemas as much. It's not a cultural draw. And this was Jerry Seinfeld who said it. A lot of people snapping at that particular comment, but if you take a little bit of a concerted step back, you'll look at the numbers. Look at Dan Morell's piece on the box office. Even the big hitters are not making the numbers that they should, and the tail off between them and the rest of pop culture, it's just incredibly difficult to justify what fandom is. I don't say the bubbles burst, but it's near as damn it. This is true. I was talking about this with Caroline earlier today, because we were discussing Deadpool. I think we were talking about it with family and asking when that's going to be coming out. I think Caroline was wearing a Deadpool t-shirt, and so which we were talking about Deadpool 3, and I said, you are aware that that film comes out on Comic-Con weekend? Yes, San Diego Comic-Con will have a big streak of red running all the way around it, because Deadpool will take Comic-Con. It will be the show of shows when it comes to that particular film. Again, though, it is a case of what pulp culture stands in the cultural zeitgeist now. And San Diego Comic-Con was a litmus test for that. Whether it be incredibly quiet, whether it be a case of the studios once again thinking, why should we spend all of this money to promote at a show which is no longer relevant? Is fandom relevant anymore? We have to kind of be a little bit more frugal about where we spend our production and where we spend our promotion. So, flying people in to appear in Hall H for an hour is something that may not justify the cost anymore. So, yeah, it's a case of what San Diego Comic-Con can offer to studios and indeed publishers. When we saw a number of big publishers skipping San Diego Comic-Con last year. So now it's a case of finding out where SDCC stands in the landscape of news, of breaking news, of putting the best bang for the buck and the best talent in front of people, and the draw, whether that still stands and whether it is still enough to draw enough people and enough eyeballs onto San Diego for that weekend. We're going to find out in July. I mean, it speaks volumes that C2E2, easily one of the big North American conventions, it's been non-existent. I mean, I've only seen a number of creatives putting something up that they are there at C2E2. We've had Dan mention it, but beyond that, it hasn't made much of a stride and much of an impact when it comes to social media, as far as I can tell. That should give people a moment of pause. And it's a case of now, what does fandom and Comic-Con organizers do to kind of either not rebuild from that, but certainly hold on to any kind of ground whatsoever. Do they scale back? Do they really kind of curate to the nth degree, or what? It's a conversation that's going to roll on between now and July. Right. Unfortunately, though, I have more packing to do. I fly very early in the morning tomorrow. We're heading to Disneyland Paris for Caroline's birthday. Again, if you want to drop her a line, she is on Facebook. She's on, I believe she's on various social medias. By all means, say hello to Kaz Sultana, or yeah, Kaz Sultana, and wish her all the very best for Tuesday for her 40th. She's looking forward to going around Disneyland Paris. We've been around Disneyland in California. We did it for a day. We did it for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And we then bounced between the two parks. And it got a little bit manic there for a minute. A lot of fun, but still it was a case of trying to squeeze as much as we can in. We are taking 2 days, 2 and a bit days, if we're going to be really accurate about it, looking around Disneyland Paris. And it is not for me. I mean, I will stand there and I will hold onto the wheelchair because, yes, I am taking my father with me, but it's for Caroline to absolutely enjoy herself. So if you want to wish her all the best, please do. But if you are a mutual friend on socials, or if you just want to drop her a line on whatever channel, if you want to drop it on Englishman SDCC, I'll make sure she sees it. But Caroline is celebrating her birthday on Tuesday, which is why I'm going to disappear. We have been talking to one or two guests. We are going to do our best to get someone organized for next week. It is a case of, once again, doing our best to try and cobble together the technicals for the show, because I'm not going to lie, the episode last week with Paul Cornell and Rachel Smith was embarrassing for myself. It wasn't up to the scratch that I set myself. It wasn't the standard that I want to reach. Technical issues fought me. I wasn't absolutely kind of 100% with it. There was some questions I wanted to ask, which I think I fumbled the ball, especially when it came to targets, how Zoop worked, how Zoop would then be shipping off to international, because as a Brit supporting 2 British creatives who have published books here in the UK, to then take that book to the US and for it to cost as much to ship back as to buy the book itself, it proved to be a little bit awkward. And we also had at the time a goal of $20,000, and it had only reached $12,000, and this was like 3 days before the actual target, the end of the Zoop campaign. As it happened, when Paul turned around and said that his goal or everything was apparently on track, and I kind of had to give a little bit of a side eye, because I just couldn't see how, after all this length of campaign, after all of the effort that both Paul and Rachel have put in, I couldn't see it crossing the line. As it happens, $21,000 is what they raised. So yes, the book Who Killed Nessie will be coming out. So it was a case of, what the hell? How did I approach that question? And I think I fumbled the ball. And I fumbled the ball on how the Brits were getting their books and how it would justify the costs. I think it all started from that first start with the issue with the internet and the connection. As you can see with this, I'm hoping that this is a relatively smooth connection. Now it's a case of finding out how to maintain that and how to move further on. Michael P is saying happy birthday. Happy birthday to Caroline. Thank you very much indeed. I will pass on the good word. Solicitous Megs, have fun. Tell her happy birthday. Oh, and shave. Don't look homeless for her birthday. I'm shaving before I fly. Okay. I have the worst facial hair in the world. So it's a case of, this is like a week and a half's worth of growth. I cannot grow facial hair at all. Andrew English, are you also streaming via Instagram today? No, I'm not. I'm not touching Instagram ever again, because every single time I went through Instagram, it caused more hassle than it was worth. It's a shame as that. Neil Patel is saying, my next convention will hopefully be London Film Comic Con. That's a good show to go and check out. So yes, full review if you don't mind, Neil. Let us know what's going on. Happy birthday, Caroline. Have fun. Thank you very much indeed. I will pass on all of the kind words, of course. Dan Berry, I grow enough for you. 3 months without shaving. You see, I do that, and this is all that will come out. This is it. This is as far as this will go. I have bum fluff for hair. It's ridiculous. Solicitor Smeg, that's like an hour and a half of me. I'm hairy everywhere except my head. Mate, I'm right there with you on that one. So there we go. But no, I will be clean shaven. I will be in fine form, and I'm looking forward to Disneyland Paris myself. I'm curious to see what the actual site looks like. So no, I'll do my best to come back with a bunch of pictures and a bunch of stories from this birthday trip. I'm hoping that they'll be non-drama related, because yes, the idea was it was going to be myself, my wife. It was because we're out of the house, we're going to take my father with us as well, who is still not in the rudest of health, and we're going with my brother as well. It was going to be a kind of family holiday, considering that we're looking at not as many of those left coming down the line. As it happens, my brother is not able to come with us, so it's just going to be myself, Caroline, and my dad. So I get the sneaking suspicion it's going to be Caroline pinballing around Disneyland Paris and me pushing a wheelchair around. But hey, listen, as long as she enjoys herself, that's what it's all about. It's absolutely my priority that she has a good time, and we'll do our best to bring back some photos, some video perhaps of Disneyland Paris. And yeah, I'm trying not to turn this into a amusement park channel, but no, for at least next week for a couple of minutes, I'll let you know how we got on. But that's us. Thank you very much indeed. So indeed, Andrew English, for a no show, almost 30 minutes is a great thing. Yes, me just waffling on, so I apologize for that. But thank you very much indeed for watching. Once again, I apologize for not having a proper show for you today. I hope that we've covered some stuff that has been of interest. And certainly when it comes to the hotel sale, yes, indeed. The thing to keep an eye on is that date of the May the 2nd, which is this, I believe is it Thursday? Let's have a look. It is Thursday. It's when I'm going to be heading back from Paris. But if you are looking on that, that is the open sale, and that is when we'll find out what rooms are going to be available around the city, and of course what kind of prices we're going to be dealing with. However, if you did take part in the hotel sale last week, hope it all went well for you. Hope you didn't have as many of the issues which I have been seeing online, especially with dropped connections and with rooms just not being available and people just being left very much left by the curb, which has been a complaint that the hotel sales have had for many years. So this was not exactly new, but yeah, there we go. We'll see what happens. The 2nd, next week on Thursday, that is the hotel sale. And indeed, if you are panicking and ready to pay a crazy amount of money for a non-con block hotel, take a deep breath. At least wait until the 2nd and do the open sale. Let's see what happens there. Let's have a look at the day. Andrew English just reminded me to book a half day off for Star Wars Celebration tickets. Indeed, that's just around the corner. That's also on Thursday. You're right. If you are wanting to attend Star Wars Celebration in Japan, that is happening. The badge sale, it takes place this week. So if you are taking part in that, all the very best. Good luck to you. But that's me. Thank you very much indeed for watching today. Hope you've enjoyed it. My little kind of like update and waffling off into the camera. Back again next week, and hopefully we'll have a proper show with some guests and something to talk about as we get into the final stretch. Like I say, the hotel sale, I think, is the last big hurrah before plans really have to get put into place for San Diego Comic-Con 2024. So yeah, fingers crossed for that. Right. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Yeah, watch for my socials. Go to threads. Threads.com, threads.net/EnglishmanSTCC. Follow along because I will be posting pictures and video best I can from Disneyland Paris, and hopefully lots of video of Caroline grinning like an idiot. Okay, take care, and we'll see you next Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. English time, because it's not GMT, is it? Not yet. Yeah, I'll see you on the other side, and I'll hopefully see you next Sunday for another Talking Con. This time, a proper episode. I'll see you then.